Hey guys, the Explorer of Horror here, the Horrible. Welcome back to some more reviews, and today we're getting into a film that is not in this six-pack. Actually, very surprising that they didn't put this movie in there. And so it's not in this six-pack, but I did want to review it because it's always been lopped in there with these movies, and I just don't think it would feel right to talk about the Universal Monster movies without discussing this film. But of course, they're getting to Creature from the Black Lagoon, which gets a 7.0 on IMDb and came out in 1954, edited by Jack Arnold. Now, this film I thought was actually pretty decent. I'd say I put it down there with The Mummy. I can't really say it's one of my favorites, but I can say it's definitely a decent movie, and this review may not even be that long. I mean, we'll see how it goes, but I actually shot a review before this, but the thing is, the review had bad audio, so I couldn't post a video because the audio was messed up. Kind of like I swear to you guys, I shot a like 20-minute review on this film that I was really pleased with, and the audio messed up, and it's a shame because I did a review for this movie, audio messed up, and it was a great. I did a good job in the review. I think the review was very informative, and I thought it was well done. But I had to do that again. And those wondering why I don't upload very much, that's why. I mean, my computer doesn't work, my phone camera's having issues, so you know, there's a lot of reasons why I'm not uploading very much right now. And I'm working on getting a new PC so we can get videos out more faster. But Creature from the Black Lagoon is definitely a decent film. The story of the movie is these scientists have found this arm of this, you know, fish human hybrid looking thing, and they found this ancient arm fossil of this creature, and they decided to go into the Amazon jungle and by the river, and they find that there's one of these creatures still alive, and it's swimming around and lurking around in the water, and they notice it, and they're trying to capture it and bring it back to study it, and hopefully they get famous and stuff like that. And while they're there, this creature begins to kill them off. Nothing gory, of course. This is 1954, so you're not going to get no blood and gore. But what you do have is a very surprising plot, because, like, the creature does knock them off one by one. Mainly by strangling them or whatever, you know, or maybe a rare instance where it's, like, drowning them or something like that. One of the guys dies a different way than... The asshole guy dies, but I can't remember how he got killed, but it wasn't strangling. Can't remember if it was like drowning or something like that. But it basically knocks these people off one by one, and it becomes kind of one of those, you know, not really body count, but knock them off type movies where every character is getting knocked off one by one. And it surprised me, because they actually do say in dialogue that yes, they are dead. They were strangled to death. And it surprised me. I'm like, wow, 1954, and they're over here making this creature kill people. And you find out some little things like, you know, eventually everybody wants to get out of there except for this asshole guy who pretty much wants to date the lead guy's girlfriend, but you know, he knows he can't date her. He's kind of jealous of the lead guy, and kind of have that love triangle, not really love triangle, but that kind of rivalry going on where this one guy wants to stay there for the money. He wants to kill this creature and bring it back. Well, he wants to bring the creature back and get money and get fame and all that stuff. And the other people are just wanting to get out of there and escape because they realize this creature is just too powerful for them to, like, capture. And so you have this interesting thing where the asshole guy, he pretty much ends up redeeming himself at the end of the movie. I mean, you know, he saves his friend, the guy who he kind of has this rivalry with. He saves him. And actually, he sacrificed himself for the other guy to live. So his character kind of has an interesting arc that happens at that moment, which is pretty cool. So yeah, very unique thing that happened there. This creature kind of has this... You don't know if it's in love with the lead chick or not. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. But he's following her around. I would assume it's like a romance thing where he's following her around and, you know, basically kind of stalking her. And then sometimes he'll kidnap her and take her to this lair, and they'll go and rescue... excuse me. They go and rescue her. I believe it's Julia Adams is the lead, and she's beautiful in this movie, and she's a decent actress. You also have Richard Carlson, who I believe Richard Carlson is the lead, David. And then you got Richard Denning, Antonio Moreno, Nestor Paiva, and Dr. Thompson, Whit Bissell, Bernie Gazer. So yeah, decent cast. I mean, everybody does a pretty good job. I mean, the cast really does a decent job. And yeah, I mean, they eventually go after it, and eventually they do end up killing it, or getting it to a point to where it's very close to death. And I know there's sequels to it, so they had to end it a way where you don't know if it's going to be a sequel bait ending, or maybe he did float off and die somewhere. But there are sequels, so I don't know if they're direct sequels or not. I mean, I don't know, but there are sequels. And they end up injuring the creature. It kind of swims away and floats away somewhere, and the movie ends. And it's a very straightforward movie. I mean, first of all, I like the cast. They do a decent job. I like the makeup on the creature. Very, very cool design. The underwater stuff is very impressive. It's shot very, very well. And how they were able to use this costume underwater, I thought was interesting. And it not fall to pieces, you know. Also, when the music's there, it's decent. But I could say this, it's a very slow-paced movie, and it's only an hour and 19 minutes. And actually, I think so far it's the longest movie I've seen from this collection. Or not really the collection, because it's not in this DVD collection. But out of this Universal Monster franchise review, or series of reviews, I guess to say, this is actually the longest one so far, an hour and 19 minutes. I believe it's the longest one. And, you know, it's just slow. It takes a while for things to happen, and when you finally get to the creature, not a lot happens. It's mainly just a good chunk of it. It's just people swimming underwater, which it looks cool. But the thing about underwater scenes is that when you drag it out and you drag it out, it becomes very boring, because you just see people swimming around ultimately and looking for this creature, and they finally find it and it just swims away and they gotta look for it again. And you know, there's a lot of screen time dedicated to that, them underwater trying to look for this creature, and I felt it really slowed the pacing down. Also, I didn't really get into the story that much of them going out and finding this creature. I didn't really get into the plot. And it's slow paced. The plot is a little iffy. Sometimes you can say like there's not much going on. But yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, it's pretty much only two bad things to it. I mean, I do like the creature design a lot. I do like the cast. Julia Adams is beautiful and she can act very well. The lead guy does a pretty good job as well. The kind of ego guy did good because, you know, when you weren't supposed to like him, you didn't. And then when he had his kind of turnaround, you felt bad for him because he kind of gave his life up to, you know, kind of change who he was. So yeah, that was a good point. And there are things that I like about it. I mean, I like the whole aspect of the love story, which I know that they've done more in-depth stuff in the future. Like, they've done more of the creature having the romance thing. Interesting idea, you know. It's been done more, like I said, in future movies. I believe future movies also got a little bit more gorier, from what I've heard, and a little bit more. They do a little bit more with the creature in those movies. But I mean, this 1954, there's not really much you can do. It's just a movie that, you know, I think is pretty good. Has a little bit of problems, but I do think overall is a decent film. And I definitely recommend it. I can definitely give it a solid 6.5 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. It's definitely a pretty decent movie that I would recommend to horror fans if you're wanting to get into an old school horror film. The good thing, like I said, it's got a pretty good atmosphere as well, with the jungle and the rainforest and the river and the lagoon that they're at. I mean, that was all done very well. The underwater shots look pretty good. The music is decent. The design of the creature was pretty cool. The knock 'em off aspect was pretty well done as well, where it's surprising how kind of ballsy it was, where it was this creature just taking people out one by one. So yeah, I mean, overall, it's definitely a decent horror film. I recommend it to people who are wanting to get into old school horror. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed Creature from the Black Lagoon. I enjoyed it. But anyways, guys, let me know your guys' thoughts on this film in the comments below. Did you like it? Did you not? Let me know. And let me know your rating. But anyways, guys, this one's getting a 6.5 out of 10 from me. I am the Explorer of Horror. Thank you guys so much for watching. And the Explorer of Horror is out. See you guys later. Bye. Have a good day, guys.